Hello viewers, today for cleaning and servicing we have this vintage Hunter Robbins Myers oscillating table fan from I believe the 1950s to the 1960s. Never worked on one of these before. This is one of the more uncommon models that has the OSHA guard on it. This has a ridiculous amount of dust on it, probably the most dust I've seen on a fan in a while, but I will show that once I get the guard off. So first thing I gotta do is figure out how to get this guard off of here. Never worked with on these before, so I'm not really sure how it works. We got some clips back here. I think that's probably where it separates. Okay, so that's how it comes off. I'll go ahead and do that. Okay, I've removed most of the tabs. I'll just remove the remaining few. Oops, it's off. And the amount of dust on this thing really is quite remarkable. I have the table here. I cleaned it up. And I'm going to brush all the dust off on the table just so we can see how much is really there. First thing I'm going to do is try to take the blade off. Actually, you know what? First I'm going to brush off the guard so I can put it down somewhere else and get it out of the way. I have put the ventilation fans on, so there's going to be some excess noise in this video. The reason being is because the dust on here is not regular household dust. You can see here it's almost like a coal dust or a machinery dust of some sort. By the way, I'm sure it's not good for the health. See that coming off of there? Can you see that on the video? Yes, you can. That's all just from the one portion of the grill there. That's just some of the dust from the guard. Now I'm going to try to remove the blades to make it easier to clean them. Looks like it's going to come off with an Allen key. Okay, the Allen key came out relatively easily. Let's see if the blade itself is going to come off. And that's going to be enough. So I have to clean the blades while they're on there. This has got to be some of the most dust I've ever seen accumulated on a fan blade before. Wild. Okay, so I've done some wet cleaning also, and as you can see, here's the difference. That's what it's like before, and it's the brown finish is what it's supposed to be. Interestingly enough, sometimes what happens is when you get that much dust accumulated on there, it actually ends up protecting the finish over the years. And while it's going to take a fair bit of effort to get all that junk off of there, the blade should be pretty much pristine underneath there. Okay, so this is what we're looking at so far. That's what it's supposed to be. and that's what it is. So I'm going to clean one of these blades on video just so you can have an appreciation of the time-consuming process it takes to get it that way. Alright, so that's the process it takes to clean one side of one blade. It's about 5 or 10 minutes. It's definitely not a procedure for the impatient, that's for sure. Okay, I was able to get the blade off, so, excuse me, now that all the front of the blade is clean, I'm going to take this off and tackle the back now. Later in the video, I got to make some repairs on the blade here. I don't know if you can see it in the video or not, but there's like a ding in the blade, tip of the blade. Something must have gotten in there. And while it's running, that makes a very irritating sound. So I'm going to have to just file that down a bit. But for now, let's finish cleaning it. I'm going to throw this back on here just so I can hold it while I'm cleaning. And I'll begin the cleaning process for the back of the blade, same I used on the front. Okay, the blade is cleaned on both sides. Paint is still in pretty good condition. There's some, splatters and stuff I gotta clean off here just from brushing the other blades that were not cleaned. But anyways, that's pretty much good to go. Put that aside. Next thing I'm gonna do is take this cover off this grill. Okay, now I'll go ahead and clean this guard off. Okay, here's the guards. This is the rear one, and this is the front one. Unfortunately, there's a fair bit of rust, so they're not perfect, but I did clean up a fair bit. So, lastly, I'm going to clean off the base, we'll oil the motor, take a look at the oscillation and wiring, and then this will be done. I just opened up the base, and as I suspected, this has been fully rewired. And you can see there's a fairly modern looking switch right there. And it looks like they have this hooked up with a capacitor. That's a 1.7 microfarad capacitor. I highly doubt that's original. I would have guessed this would probably run off of a speed choke, a transformer-based choke, but I guess to run it off capacitor. So since everything looks good and it was rewired very well, I'm going to leave it be. Kind of odd, I've never seen one hooked up like this, but it's working fine. So I'm going to go ahead and put this cover back on, and then we'll take a look at the oscillator. This is quite unusual. I opened this up and I got a pretty pleasant surprise. It's packed full of grease. And that's not old dried up grease either. That's relatively new grease. So whoever rewired it must have also put new grease in it. And here's something else I saw which is kind of interesting. This sits on there like this. When I took this off, there's a seal inside there. This is like a gasket seal. I've never seen that before. This is most certainly not 60 years old. This also seems relatively new. So whoever had this before me, on the ball, definitely took care of this thing. On the top here you can see it says property of tool room. So that leads me to believe that maybe this was used in some sort of an auto shop or something. I've recovered fans from auto shops before, and they have the same kind of grease on them. Plus the fact that this is made out of gasket paper kind of gives it away. So anyways, oscillation, everything's in perfect condition. Wiring was done perfectly. So it's all set to go. I'm going to put a couple drops of oil in there, and then I'll begin to reassemble it. Are we still in focus here? Yes, we are. And there's an output here in the back. Put some drops into it. The excess oil from the back here as always. And as I mentioned earlier in the video, I've got to make a modification to the blade to fix the irritating sounds. I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Okay, here's the tip of the blade, and as you can see where the silver part is, it looks like something has hit the blade while it was running. And it's caused a fair bit of a gouge. Let's see it good from this angle. And that'll make a bit of noise while it's running. So I'm going to take a file and just file that down a bit. Okay, I just filed it down. It's not a huge visual difference, but it's just enough to take out the irregularities that'll cause a wind noise. So that should be better now. As usual, I'm going to go ahead and give this a test run without the blade on it. Let's put this thing off if it gets off. Yes, it is. This cord is annoyingly short, and I have to put a longer one on. Here's low, medium, and high. Off, 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 off. Actually, not off. That's off. Okay. Okay, now for the rear guard. Actually, I'm going to put a couple of drops of oil in the oscillation points first. If I can get the oil open. Okay, now I'll put the rear guard on. Okay, now I'll put the blade back on. And now for the front cage, it just went crashing to the floor. Now I'm going to clean something else a little bit more in the front garage first. Alright, it's going to have to be how it is. I really wish this front guard was coming out a bit better, but it's just not going to. I'm going to do the test run not on the bench because all that dust. Before we test it, let's take a look at how much dust came off of there. It's a lot of dust. This is definitely among the most dustiest fans I've ever worked on. Okay, I'm testing it over here even though the lighting stinks. Because this is the only place I could find to plug it in, where the cord actually reaches. Start off on low. That's high rather. Now, I don't know if you can hear that whistling sound. That's what I was talking about when I mentioned that there's going to be a wind noise from the those defects in the blade. It's drawing 0.8 amps, rated at 0.7. That's good enough. Got an oscillation here. Grab a screwdriver for that oscillator. Really nice low speed on this thing. Okay, I'm going to go back up to high and then we'll do a spin down. Okay, I'm going to see if I can do something about that whistling sound. Otherwise, that's it for the video. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Feel free to leave a comment if you have one, and subscribe. Out. There. No.